Dog shit from Manchester United today. Absolutely fucking horseshit. Really, really poor from Manchester United, and deservedly Manchester United go out of the FA Cup. So poor today, and it is really worrying to see that type of performance from Manchester United. Some really poor performances out there, and to be honest, losing 2-1, it should have been easily a 2-0 scoreline there. We didn't deserve to score that goal right at the death. So poor from Manchester United, and I mean, I don't know where to start with that performance, to be honest. I know Wolves have defended very deep and looked to counter-attack Manchester United. I know it's difficult for Manchester United to break this team down, but Manchester United have been very poor today, and there's been some notable, really poor performances, and notably Anthony Martial has been so poor today. Paul Pogba hasn't been at his best either. We were just absolutely toothless up front, to be honest. Really bad up front today. We were. I know Rashford's got that goal at the end, but really poor up front. Jesse Lingard not at the races either. So bad. Oh God. And that's pretty much Manchester United's last chance of silverware gone down the toilet, to be honest, because we're not winning the Champions League. We know that. And I know that the last few weeks have been some of them have been very good. We've won some very nice away games, but to be honest, we're somewhere in the middle. We've had a few lucky wins, we've had a few wins where we've deserved to win as well, but I think we're somewhere in the middle. And although this result is really going to hurt, it's probably, I mean, you never want to lose an FA Cup game, never at all, but Manchester United do need a good investment in the summer in this squad. This squad is nowhere near good enough to be challenging for Premier League titles and League and Champions Leagues and whatnot. We're not at that level yet, and we've had a great honeymoon period at the start under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It was fantastic, but the last couple of games we've only scored one goal. Okay, it wasn't terrible against Arsenal, but we were a lot worse today, and it does show that Manchester United are nowhere near at the level we should be at. And I'm not taking anything away from Wolves. They were obviously fantastic today and thoroughly deserved to get through to the FA Cup semi-final, definitely. But I've got some worrying thoughts to think about going forward for the remainder of the season, because we cannot afford to play like that again in games coming up, or we will stand no chance of even having Champions League football again next season, which does look, after losing to Arsenal last weekend, it took a massive hit. But to be honest, today we've just been very poor. I mean, Anthony Martial, I mean, I know I've just talked about him, but so poor for Manchester United, and we've given him a lot of money and a new contract, and I for one wasn't confident giving him a new contract, to be honest. And I was backing Jose Mourinho when he wasn't always playing Anthony Martial, because consistently he's been so inconsistent for Manchester United over the last few years, just nowhere near good enough for Manchester United. And again today we've seen it looked like Gabriel Oberton out there. He was so bad, just strolling around, not using any of his pace. Really poor out there. I know he wasn't the only one out there. There was a lot of poor performances from Pogba, and obviously Rashford as well wasn't good enough either. But the guy's just signed a new contract. He's supposed to be the future of Manchester United, and with performances like that, he wouldn't even get on the Manchester. I don't even know if he would get on Manchester City's bench with performances like that. Really bad from Martial. We've got to improve going forward for the remainder of this season, but there are still a lot of issues in this squad that just haven't really come to the forefront lately. When we've been winning games, there has been there's some poor areas of the squad that still need to be sorted out for Manchester United, and it probably hasn't helped that we've rushed Ander Herrera, Matic and Jesse Lingard back in the last week or two. But what really did annoy me today was that there was nothing on the substitutes bench. You've got Chong, you've got Greenwood, and even Gomez as well. None of them were put on the bench. I mean, you've got Phil Jones, you've got Rojo, you've got Fred, you've got McTominay. None of them players are going to go out there and score goals for Manchester United. And I thought he really did get the substitutes wrong today. I know Greenwood's apparently been ill, but apparently him and Gomez did travel down to Wolves for the game. So if Greenwood was okay to travel down to Wolves for the game, then for me he was fine to be on the substitutes bench. And I would have been much more confident bringing him off the bench than bringing Scott McTominay off the bench. Why the fuck did we have to bring Scott McTominay off the bench? Scott McTominay, I know we were 2-0 down. and the game was pretty much gone, done and dusted, but you're bringing Scott McTominay off to try your best to rescue a game. I mean, Scott McTominay's been doing fantastically well in the last few weeks, but he's not the player that's going to come onto that pitch and get you a goal and get you back into this game. Not at all. Manchester United deservedly lost this game. We're bringing Juan Mata on as well, and there are players in and around this squad that I do want to see gone this summer coming, and whether Solskjaer is the man that's going to get the job on a permanent basis, I believe it looks like he's going to be, but is he the man that's going to pull out all this dead wood and bring in the right signings? This is the real issue for Manchester United, and I just don't know who the man is to do that. I know there's going to have to be a director of football coming at some point, because there are a number of players that I would like to see moved on in the summer, the likes of Darmian Valencia, Juan Mata, Ashley Young, and I'm not even sure if Martial's good enough consistently to be in and around the first team squad, to be honest. It's just not good enough for Manchester United consistently, and if he was to move on, I wouldn't even have a problem with that. There's probably at least 4 or 5 players that need moving on, and then you've got to bring probably 3 or 4 in the summer. It's going to be a massive summer for Manchester United, because we cannot afford another summer where we get it wrong again. We just cannot afford that. And we've blown our best chance to win silverware this season. It's disappointing. It does look like another failure of a season for Manchester United with no silverware yet again. Even if Manchester United make the top 4 this season, which is very, very unlikely at this stage, then it's going to have been an absolute shambles of a season for Manchester United. And I know some fans are going to disagree with me there, because we've had a little spurt of good form recently, but you can't. Manchester United is not about just finishing in the fucking top 4. That is horseshit for Manchester United. Just finishing in the top 4, that is just a dog shit season for me. I'm sorry, last season was a dog shit season for me, because we didn't win anything. Okay, we finished second, but who gives a fuck if we finished second? We didn't win anything, and for me, winning things means more to me than finishing in that top 4, and that's not going to happen now. It's disappointing, but we go again after the international break. We're just going to have to try and get back to winning ways and see what happens, but it is very, very disappointing today. Romero was probably the one that stood out with a lot of good saves. Okay, that second goal probably could have done better, maybe with it was hit very well, but he pulled off a number of good saves, so honourable mention to him. But besides that, very, very disappointed. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the game. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll talk to you all again soon. See ya.